Hello. This is Tracy, and I just want to say thank you so very much for the likes, the subscribes, the views, the comments. I appreciate it. And I was just going to see what the stack had to say, and a bunch of cards already fell out, so we're just going to start. Okay, so we have jealous, stand for something, God's worked it out. What are they not saying? It was good enough for them. Snakes, vision, God's greatest gift, and Satan thinks you're dumb and broke the curse. So we start off with someone or a group. I feel like this is a group because there's an S on the end of snakes, so it's plural. But there's a bunch of jealous snakes in your mix. They're haters. And remember about snakes. You think that you might stop talking to them for a little bit and then start talking to them again, and you think that they've changed. They have. Because a snake is still a snake. They only shed their skin when they become a bigger snake. Not because they're morphing into something else. Remember that about snakes. And it's something about this group. It's what they're not saying. It's like when they say stuff to you, they only tell you half the story. It's like you have to read between the lines of what they really actually mean, which is like a passive aggressive type of narcissistic, covert narcissistic behavior. But something is coming back on them. Karma. Big, big, big karma is coming back on them. And it's something that they actually plotted and they planned your demise. But they didn't realize that they were digging two graves. They were digging one for you, and they were digging it really, really, really deep, not realizing that the deeper that they dug the grave for you, it was actually morphing into a second grave for them. So it was good enough for them what they had planned and plotted on you. I mean, it was good enough for you. So Spirit saying, and the universe and karma saying, now it's good enough for them. God's worked it out. God has already worked it out because Satan thought that you were dumb. Satan thought that you were dumb, slow, because at some point, at some place, you could have been a people pleaser, but you learned that you had to stand for something. You learned that you had to stand for something, or else you was going to fall for everything, continue to fall for everything over and over and over. But standing for something meant that you were breaking a curse, because a curse was put on you so that you would continue to fall for something over and over and over. But you broke that curse because you saw the truth. You were able to see the truth. Vision. Because now you are using your third eye. You have that vision. It was like at some point you were in solitude and your third eye popped open. And when it popped open, that's how you were able to clearly see the soul, the spirit, the intention of another. You You were one of God's greatest gifts. But the devil didn't want you to see that. The devil didn't want you to know. The devil only wanted you around evil energy to keep that shroud in secrecy. But God's got something special for you, because God sees that you were not superficial. You know you're not superficial. You know that there is something more that you need to do. And whatever it is, it stems on one love. It stems from your heart. It's something with your heart that's like a gift to the world. And it's something that you have to give in order for you to be able to finish what you're here to do. It's something with your heart. It's like, whatever it is, it has to do with your listening skills. It has to do with you being able to really stand up for yourself and for others who are not in the room to stand up for themselves. Because when you choose not to, you're enabling that behavior. That's bad behavior. You're also allowing that evil energy to sink into your own spirit and cloud your own judgment of a situation that you are not even allowed to judge. Don't ever believe what you hear about the gossip, because the person who's pointing the finger, the person who's gossiping, is the person who's starting the commotion. And I just had confirmation from my cell phone. It's like you have to tell these snakes, please, fuck off. You have to let this be the motherfucking end to the situation. You have to allow yourself to mature to the place. Find courage to the place where you're not afraid to stand up. You're not afraid to go in. You're not afraid to do what you have to do, what's right. Because you understand that these snakes, it's like they wanted to create a third party situation and an important relationship with you, for you. They wanted to create like a third party situation where they're coming in between to make it seem like someone was unlovable, you know, to make it seem like someone was, you know, didn't deserve respect. But in all, what they were doing is they were providing that to you. Anyone that you allow, that's what it is. Anyone that you allow to come in and tell you some bullshit about someone else. Thank you, Spirit. I understand the message. Anyone that you allow to come in and tell you some bullshit about someone else, you're allowing them to disrespect you, to be to have some concealed fake mind games with you, because they're seriously hiding something. It's a cover up. You know? It's like Spirit says you always have to listen to the truth. And the only way to listen to the truth is to talk to the other person. You have to really learn right now that you need to get into the flow of life so that you can reach your highest spiritual potential. You have to get out of the ugly emotional trap that Satan wants for us, that Satan has for us. It's just an emotional trap. We have to get out of that. Someone is watching. Someone's watching you. There's a spy in your mix. It's one of these snakes. You know, it's someone that's in the midst of you. Let it be a lying family or friend. And we won't use the word friend. We'll say friend of me. And it's someone who wants what their child has. Or doesn't actually have to be a parent. It could be someone who's in a parental figure. Or someone that someone looks up to as a parent. It's like they want what the child has because they're jealous. They're in competition. They never felt good about themselves. They never felt like they were worthy. They always felt like they were less than a child, even though they were an adult. Even though they probably had, could tell the child what to do, they still felt less than the child. So it wasn't the child, it was the adult who was going through this. Because this person is scared. They were trying to go through their life with their eyes tightly shut as to what they're actually doing and why they're actually doing it. I see on one side that it says you have two haters. One of those haters on the other side says grandma. But you can't put anything past anybody. You really can't. Everybody deserves to be checked the fuck out. Everybody. Anybody can have kids. Well, men can't, and a lot of women can't either, but y'all know what I mean. People can have kids, but that don't mean that they're going to be a good mother. And if they're not a good mother, and those kids have kids, then that just means they're not going to be a good grandmother. So, check it out. Check it out. Check out the past. Check out the present. Hell, if you can, check out the future. Because you cannot be too careful around these parts. These streets is treacherous. Treacherous. That you have to put your faith in spirit. You have to. You have to have an understanding of yourself. The only thing that you stand under is your own truth. Spirit wants you to know that, hey, if you're not healed, you are going in the right direction of your healing. It's like right now you are receiving recognition. They're ashamed to admit to them and to you that they abused you. Right now, Spirit wants them to suffer in silence. It's like they left and then they mad that you let go. Sometimes Spirit says you have to show them better than you can tell them. Because some of them, they new to the game. So sometimes you got to show them that you just motherfucking true to the motherfucking game. It's like, How did you treat them? You know, these people are thinking about how they treated you. They are now in their thoughts. They are now in their thoughts. You know? But you got to keep walking forward because you got the victory. You're showing your bravery, your strength, that can't stop, won't stop attitude. You got your head on straight. You are now a spiritual warrior, able to get through all that bullshit. You know why? Because you went through a major change. It was time to transform for the better, and you sure the fuck did. Now look at you, king or queen. And on this side, you know, there was some self-reflection that was needed, and I feel like someone took it. So that's what the stack got to say. Talk to you later.